Good evening. Let's talk about Palantir and Sofi. Wow. First of all, the theme of this video is, are we safe? Are we safe right now? I think a lot of us, unless you were just totally oblivious to what's going on, a lot of us are going, can we trust these numbers right now? So let's talk about this first. I don't know. Let's talk about Palantir. Let's just go into Palantir. Palantir right now is just, good God. Thank God, because everything all of us have said it was going to do, it is doing it. It is breaking records. Literally 6 months ago, when this thing was not even in 30s, I literally was telling people, it is going to get out of control before you know it. You are going to miss your ticket here. You're going to get left behind. It's going. My last video, I told people, hey, Alex Karp has been he just gave a handful of interviews here the last 2 months. If you listen to those interviews, Alex is literally giving you hints. He's giving you tips. There's only so much he can say because of the FCC, but he is saying things in there where he's like, hey, we have got things going on, huge things. There's a lot more to come that people don't even know about. We're undervalued. We have no competition. We're going to be doing numbers that people are not prepared for, where Palantir is going in the next 5 years. The number one main thing he says is, hey, we have no competition. The market is ours for what we do specifically with AI. Do you know what that means when you can take all of the profits? We're seeing it right now. Palantir has that. It has all of that all the gab it's doing right now to back up the numbers, because the numbers are coming in. Quarterlies are going insane every time. They're still accumulating deals, partnerships. It's getting wild right now with Palantir. In the situation that could possibly be happening, and this is why it's moving so hard, because big investors, little investors, big investors are all catching on, and we all know that if these next Q3 quarterlies that come out here in just weeks, if they even blow by expectations of 15 to 25%, who knows, maybe 30, 35%, obviously anything more than that would be insane. But if they blow these quarterlies, the expectations is met, passed, we're going to see Palantir move to a $50 to $60 move here by the end of the year. It is a guaranteed situation. There's no reason for it to stop. It's literally about to break the dam right now. It is flowing over the top. It's getting out of control. And we knew this was coming with Palantir because there was so much money coming in with Palantir. Not to mention, this is a fantastic week for AI in general, with a lot of big things happening in AI right now. But Palantir has set itself aside from a lot of other AI companies to where it's doing its own thing. I literally remember making 6 months ago, making videos about Palantir where I was saying like, hey, it's gonna be in the 30s here very soon, and we were sitting like at $25, trying to make it to $27, and I was literally saying to people, all of us we were saying, hey, it's going to be in the 30s, it's going to be in the 40s, it's going to be in the 50s before you know it. And people were just, a lot of people are on the same page here. If you've done the due diligence and you have done the research with what is going on in the background with Palantir, you knew what was going to happen here. You could see it. If you've been in the market for any time, you knew what was going to happen here, and it's happening. And people that are still on the fence with Palantir, I don't know how much more evidence you need. I really don't, and I feel bad. I mean, these are literally the same people that are still doubting Palantir are still the same people that were doubting Tesla 8 years ago, before Tesla had its huge back-to-back run. I don't know what more you can need at this point with a company. I mean, it's giving everything it can give. This is the genesis stage of where Palantir is about to go. You're going to be wishing you could buy Palantir at $40 this time next year. You're going to be praying and wishing you could have bought it at this time. So with that, Palantir has obviously broke into the 40s here. We're in it, and we are seeing these huge cliffs being walked up here. I mean, we went straight into the 30s a while back here. Now we've bypassed the 30s, and now we're in the not mid 40s, but we're in the low 40s here, trying to close out today at a $44 mark. Did not close in it, but very, very close. So obviously the question is right now, the market is running hot. I mean, the S&P is on fire. Everything is running a little too hot, and I'm going to get to the bad stuff here. I'm not just going to, blow up the balloon and not pop it here. I've always got to pop the balloon because I don't want to lie to people. But with Palantir here, the question is, we haven't even got to the week of pre-quarterly. Like, usually a company 7 days out from the earnings will run just on the assumption that it'll have good earnings, even if there's signs of that. Well, we know Palantir should have good earnings. It's just, how good are they? That's really what everyone's wondering. And that's why I was talking about these interviews with Alex, where he was saying, like, hey, something's coming here. The situation is right now is people, and I see comments, I hear comments, I hear people talking in all these kind of chat rooms and talking to friends. Will there be, how drastic will a sell-off be here to Palantir? Well, the question is, how far is Palantir going to run here till we get to quarterlies? Is Palantir going to continue to run into like a $50 to $55 bid price getting up to these quarterlies? Well, I mean, why couldn't it? We've seen these AI stocks do ridiculous things. We have seen them do ridiculous things as of late. The situation is, who knows what is going to be the sell-off here? Are we going to go back down to $35? That's what a lot of people are asking here. We're quite a ways away from $35 at this point. We are almost $10 away from $35. If Palantir continues to run with this much volume as it is right now, we're going to be at $45 here, which will be an even 10 here, back to 35. Obviously, easy math there. But the situation that lies with this right now, even when we're seeing signs of a pullback right now in Palantir, it's not really a really drastic pullback. I mean, it's just not. It's a couple dollars. Which for a stock with this much movement is not really that big of a deal. So that should be scaring people that have not just, bit the bullet here and just got into Palantir. I don't know that you're going to catch it back in the low 30s again. I don't know. The only way you could catch it back in the low 30s right now is if it has a pretty bad quarterly, which I don't really see that happening. I don't. I think Alex is telling us, like, hey, I know some stuff. And the zeitgeist and the volume and the hype that is going into Palantir right now is getting very, very fierce right now. So it is a huge gamble to wait on these quarterlies. If you have capital, if you have money to burn and just you don't care, sure, why not? Who knows? You may not. There are people that they don't mind paying $50 a share for Palantir. I dare say there's not too many of them, but obviously everyone's wanting to get in at the lowest point. The question is, what is the low point right now with Palantir? The low point 4 weeks ago was $27 to $32. Not anymore. We may not. 20s may be gone with Palantir. 20s may be gone. We may never see 20 again. It's going to take some devastating news in the market and in Palantir for that to happen. So, friends, what I'm trying to say here, and here's some news right now with what's going on. The market is at an all-time high, and this goes really more with Sofi. Even if the market falls apart, I'm not too worried about Palantir, because Palantir right now has the muscle to back up what they're doing with this run, with these numbers right now. It has the muscle, the support, the evidence to be in the $40 range right now if we see a huge pullback in the market. So Palantir, that's a hard one to bet on. That is a hard one to bet on. If you're betting on Palantir to go back down to a $30 even share price, that's a hard gamble. That's a hard gamble right there. I'm just going to say that. That's a hard gamble. All right, let's talk about Sofi right here. So the big question is this it with Sofi? Is Sofi finally moving up? So I think one of the last videos I made here was Sofi, where I brought out a chart and I said, hey, since July, you may not have recognized this, but Sofi has been going up. Sofi has steadily been going up. It's had huge sell-offs, but it's been going up. So I do suspect we will see another sell-off in Sofi, but the bad part about that is The $6 range, the high $6 range with SoFi, the good and the bad with that is the $6 range may be gone. We may not see that again with SoFi, possibly. The high $7 range is probably more likely what we could see with SoFi. But right now, we're not seeing that. SoFi is loving this news. It's loving all this talk that Jerome Powell is putting, that the Feds are putting out, essentially with these rate cuts, with, interest, the economy getting somewhat better. Job reports still, they're better, but here's my thing too. Here's always the double-edged sword of the situation. The Fed has done this to us many times, where they have hyped up the market, they've pumped it up. The Fed comes out and says, things are going really good, actually. They've never been better. Here's some numbers to back it up. Don't kid yourself with this. There's a reason they're doing these rate cuts. This week still, the Feds will be meeting, and they will be doing a review of the job reports. They're going to be talking about rates, how many rate cuts they will actually be doing this year, possibly one in November, possibly one in December. Who knows? Maybe none. They've done stupid stuff. They've done crazier stuff. Obviously, I don't think they would do that because it would essentially put a recession in the market. But obviously, those people are out there talking because people are saying that, and I'm saying this because they came out with this whole job report, better inflation, better all this stuff, and people are like, well, that's a lot different than what it was 30 days ago. So are you still going to do the rate cuts? Anyway, I think they're still going to do the rate cuts, obviously. The problem with the situation is right now, it's a very weird situation. This is a very weird situation where we're still in a very bad place with inflation, and we're still in a bad place. Don't kid yourself. We're still in a bad place with inflation, job reports. They're better, but they're not like where they should be. And we're still waiting to hear more about these rate cuts, what's happening. And mortgage rates are going up. So with that too, you have to know in your mind, in the background, okay, people's mortgages are going up. So my mortgage went up. Everyone's mortgage went up. It's just what happened. People are having to spend more money on the mortgage now. So with that, people have less money. These are things that trigger numbers in the economy. Not only that, the S&P 500 is extremely high right now. And this, I'm sure there's not many people even listening to me yap about this right now, but it is it's a very real situation you should be aware of. If you're just investing in the market off of good news, that's a problem. That means you're buying in at very high rates right now. You're buying SoFi at $8.50 because you're like, I believe the Fed. I don't want to miss out right now. If you're buying for the long term, sure, who cares? Whatever. Do whatever. But I cannot in good conscience tell you to buy SoFi at like this $8 and almost 60-cent range, because I have just this, I had this feeling inside of me that we are about to see a huge shakeout within the next 3 weeks in this market. I think we're going to see a shakeout. Something is going to trigger a shakeout. I don't know what is going to be. I don't know. It is week by week at this point, but the market is moving way too high. We have an election in less than 3 weeks and days, hours at this point. There will be a huge revise in November of the job report. Okay? That's coming. We know that's coming. Now, but obviously this week too, they're going to talk about the rate cut. I don't know what the shakeout is going to be in this market, when it's going to be. I do suspect there will be a little shakeout before the election. I just don't know what is going to trigger it at this point. I suspect that the market could run even better tomorrow because I just don't see the Fed coming out and saying bad news. Jerome Powell knows. They all know. All those people in the Fed that are in control of essentially our money, they know that the market is very, very touchy right now, and they cannot come out here and say like, actually we're going to wait and do rate cuts in January. We're going to hold off. We want to push. That would be awful. The market would plummet down a hill. They know they can't do that. But that is almost the conspiracy right now, where people are going like, well, why are they putting out such good news? Is this really good news, or are they just pushing numbers? Friends, listen, in the long run, if you're holding SoFi for the next 5, 10, 15 years, you're using it as a retirement, SoFi is going to be a banging company, man. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be freaking awesome. SoFi, this time next year, we should be flying high with SoFi, no matter who the president is, what's going on. Get the economy back moving again. SoFi today, also with this news, look what they released. SoFi is launching these new credit cards for everyday cash rewards. This is a very big deal. This is going to be a big money moving machine for SoFi as well. So these will bleed into quarterly's earnings in 2025. So this is more positive news about what's coming. So if you had the capital, you had the money, sure, buy SoFi, who cares? Store it away. We'll be back in 5-10 years to see what happened here. Maybe by then we'll be getting dividend payouts on it. That's a real possibility. That would be the cream of the crop right there. That's really what you're wanting too. But obviously the stock to double, triple here within the next 2 to 3 years. I'm bullish on SoFi very much. I think it's a great company. It's obviously showing numbers. All of its quarterlies the past 3 years have been fantastic. It got devastated during COVID. We know what happened. It's back. It's running, ready to go. Short term, I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen here. SoFi could bleed back down to a high $7 mark. That is that's a real possibility. Do not kid yourself. If it does bleed back down to a $7 range, somewhere in there, middle sevens, high 7, low 7, I doubt, but could. I would look at that. I would view that as this may be it. The 7s may be gone after that. If we see 7 one more time in SoFi, that may be it. That we may not see the 7s again with this. And I say that with like happy but sad news too. It's like we've been here so long with these 6s and 7s and 8s on a really good day, but literally it's like we're probably about done with the $7 mark here on SoFi, so don't kid yourself. Once these rate cuts start kicking in and we start to see these better numbers that the feds are bringing in with inflation, job reports, things that should be happening here, especially going into a new year with a new president, regardless of who it is, we should start to see some sort of movement in the overall market. Friends, I wish everyone the best of luck. I really do mean that. Be excited about SoFi. Be excited about Palantir. These are fantastic companies. These are companies that you need and want to hold here until you retire, until you can pass them down to your grandchildren. Look at it like that. These are things that are going to be life-changing companies to be a part of. Most of us, honestly, who knows, we may not even see the best days with these companies. It's going to take time to really, really see what's going to happen here. They will move fast. But a lot of people will not have the patience to hold these. I'm going to be honest. That is the number one killer with people in the stock market. They do not have patience, and they will not wait for stocks. They just won't. They want the money, get out, and they chase the next one. It's just the way it is. Have faith that you're doing the right thing with these companies, these stocks. Friends, take care. Bye-bye.